Hello, hello, lads. We sit here today on January 5th, which is the eve of the debut. Well, technically, some theaters are already showing it, but I have this thing called a job, so I have to be there tomorrow. So I can't really go tonight, but you bet your ass I'm there tomorrow. M3GAN is he finally here. I have been on the hype train for this movie since the trailer came out. I've been a big advocate of this project, which is really funny because most of y'all that come on to my streams and shit, you don't really seem to care about this as much as I do. I'm ready for this shit though, dude. This is one of the most anticipated movies of the year for me, and it's coming out in January, bruh. Can't beat that. It's been a while since I've been to the theater, so I'm ready to go and chew on this one. Because I've been in the movie mood lately, I just thought I would lay out some of my predictions, but not really predictions. I have predictions based on the trailer, but who cares about those? Just kind of some of my more general expectations slash previewing kind of ideas and thoughts about what we could be getting here, what they could actually do here. If you've already seen it, please don't spoil this. Please don't spoil it. I'm gonna make a first impression slash review. Well, I'll see how I'm feeling after the movie, and we'll see what direction I choose to make that video. No matter what direction I choose, I'll make sure it's clearly labeled so that everybody knows. So with all that shit out of the way, let's go ahead and just get into some of these things I have written down here. The first thing that I'm expecting is that when you look at the trailer for this, the first thing that people talk about is Chucky. Chucky. Here's what I say. Fuck that. I think what we're about to get is about to be better than Child's Play. Like, all of them. The best two Child's Plays are Bride and number 2 and Bride. And honestly, I respect Child's Play for what it is. I consider Child's Play to be a gateway franchise where like younger viewers can get into like Child's Play and that you find your way into other horror through it. It's a gateway. The target demographic can be the younger audiences, I think, nowadays. But as much as I respect Child's Play for what it is, I really think part of growing up as a horror fan is understanding that Child's Play is not that good. It's not that good. I'm not going to say, like, every adult hates Child's Play. Every adult doesn't think it's Child's Play. But I think most people can look at Child's Play and understand that it has a lot of issues, a lot of faults, and it's not as good as a Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers. It's not one of the kings. It's one of the princes of the knights of horror, if you will. It's not true upper echelon. It's close. And Chucky does have that name recognition, but just the quality of the movies is just not as good as the Michael and Freddy especially. And then even some of the more modern things like Saw, The Conjuring, Insidious, stuff like that's just much better than Child's Play. Like, Child's Play it's really fallen off when it comes to, like, being quality. Maybe it was, like, 3 decades ago, but, like, nowadays it's just not that good. So I think the killer doll is about to be brought into it's about to be given the modern take that it desperately needs. Child's Play 2019 was a good start, but I think this is really what the idea needs to, like, really be brought into this generation. And don't worry about the rating. PG-13, don't worry about it. Next, one of the things I think this movie in particular needs to study is the mistakes of Child's Play 2019. Because based on the trailers, it looks like this is going to be very similar to the 2019 Child's Play in terms of, like, the android and stuff, like it's an android, not a doll, stuff like that. So basically, now again, I haven't seen Child's Play 2019 in a couple years. So, like, my thoughts are on that. Not all of them, but some of them have been slowly lost to time. Mostly the positives. However, the negatives, some of them, I still do retain. The doll looked like shit in Child's Play 2019, which they seem to have corrected that. M3GAN looks way better. The design of the doll, yeah, we already got that. The reason why the doll is evil, I think, needed a bit more work in the 2019 Child's Play. So I'm hoping through the character work that can be taken care of, and we'll get into that in a second. And the doll seemed out of place in its own world. The Chucky doll in Child's Play 2019 did not seem to go with the line of products that it kind of came out with, and stuff like that. Now, there were other issues, but like that's for another review on another day. Just the little stuff like that, the general world building. I hope that this movie does a better job at it. I mean, it's gonna be hard not to because of how bad Child's Play 2019's world building actually was. Just kind of that kind of stuff. Get our framework in a more grounded place and not feel so rushed and shoehorned. But Child's Play 2019, it kind of felt like they had a script lying around that they didn't really know what to do with, and they merged it with a new Child's Play movie. And that's what it kind of seemed like they did. So I'm really hoping that aspects of that are kind of corrected in here. Next, in terms of this movie, one thing I really do want to see here is that we have something a little bit more advanced here, whereas Chucky is a full-fledged human being inside of a doll, like his soul's in there. M3GAN is an android, and kind of with going along with one of the stronger aspects of Child's Play 2019 was the Andy-Chucky relationship. And it was a very unique idea for them to take it in that direction. I kind of hope we see it taken taking this relationship and not the same direction, but a similar kind of direction, because that is one of the stronger aspects of the movie. And since M3GAN seems to be more advanced than even the 2019 doll, the 2019 doll seemed to have an inability to understand human relationships, okay? However, I want M3GAN to be as much of a sociopath / psychopath as much as she is a doll, if that makes any sense. As much as she is an android. Like, instead of what I really want here is for like them to like make M3GAN more akin to a sociopath or a psychopath than an actual non-human. Like, I want M3GAN to be able to understand human relationships, like where the Chucky doll, like Andy said, I wish he was dead, or I wish he would disappear or something, and then Chucky went and killed the guy. Remember that in the 2019 Child's Play? I want M3GAN to have a better understanding of human speech, relationships, intelligence, etc., but she can never experience / feel them herself. Kind of like a sociopath or a psychopath. She should be able to perfectly mimic these human relationships, interactions, and understand them to an extreme degree, but she herself can't really experience them. Like, she doesn't protect Katie because of a genuine love for Katie. That's just her mission, and it's her objective. Like, it's objective to her. Protecting Katie and shit like that, and being there for Katie is an assignment that she's fulfilling. Kind of like it's a military goal for her. It's everything's objective. She doesn't dislike anything. She doesn't know what that means. She doesn't know. And then, like, obviously because she's an android, but like in the real world context, like these sociopaths and psychopaths, they genuinely don't know or understand those human feelings and interactions because they don't experience them themselves. But they know they exist, but they themselves don't feel them, and then they use them and exploit them, whatever. This isn't a psychology class. The point is, that's what I kind of want M3GAN to kind of be doing here. They're just the mimicry of humanity, but not true humanity. It would kind of go in line with her design, whereas Chucky, even in the 2019, was clearly like a doll, whereas you look at M3GAN, and you can tell, like, she looks more human than Chucky. So, because she looks more human, and they took the time to, like, really make her, like, mimic humanity with the sunglasses and stuff in the trailer, the dancing, stuff like that, where she mimics humanity, but she can't experience it. She mimics it like a circus clown, if that makes any sense. Okay? Next. The next thing I want to see in this is that I don't know what direction they're going to take this. Obviously, your three main characters here are M3GAN, the aunt, whose name I do not know yet, and Katie. I don't know if the aunt's name was name dropped in the trailer or not. Katie's parents died of a car crash, and then M3GAN is brought in as kind of emotional support. Okay, that's what's kind of going on here. So, a direction I hope they go in with this movie is, again, I as a male don't really know anything about this shit. You could talk about femininity, but I don't think that needs to be discussed. I think the theme of this movie that really needs to be tackled is motherhood. That's what I think they really kind of need to go after if they're doing this right. Like the intention for M3GAN forming this relationship with Katie should be the scientists and the aunt should be thinking of this relationship as kind of a sisterly one, where M3GAN is going to be there for Katie, play with her, hang out with her, and interact with her as a sister would hang out with a sister, stuff like that. But I mean, the movie kind of implies this shit. But the emotional attachments that they're forming. The thing about Katie is a big aspect of Katie's character is likely going to be that she misses her mom. Like they probably her parents, but they're really gonna. I think they really should be honing in on the fact that she's missing her mom and she doesn't have a mom. Okay, M3GAN being the objectivist android thingamajig that mimics humanity but can't experience it, should be looking at Katie and go, this girl doesn't need a sister, this girl needs a mother. Okay? This girl needs a mother and she doesn't have one, and the aunt is not a mother either, and this is where the natural conflict between the aunt and M3GAN can kind of form. Whereas M3GAN begins to take over that role of Katie's mother. And since the aunt can't be the mother because she's not Katie's mom, she's the aunt. There's a certain, as much as she wants to be Katie's mother at this point, she wants to be the motherly figure, she can never be Katie's true mom. And that's something that they can really lean into here with M3GAN, who like, when they, like, I'm sure the inevitable scenes that M3GAN and the aunt are going to be, the dialogue scenes between M3GAN and the aunt, which will likely be the best parts of the movie, that's something they can really hone in on. Like, the dynamic of needing a mother, like, the aunt and M3GAN are simultaneously, because the aunt's just trying to keep Katie's life intact and kind of be that motherly role. And M3GAN at that point can like, lay into her. It's like, you're her aunt. You'll never be her mom, blah, 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 blah. And say all these objectively true things. And that's where the two of them can kind of get this clash, because M3GAN can never be Katie's true mother, and neither can the aunt. So that's where this kind of fight for that role in Katie's life between the two characters is going to kind of go after. And it's like basically you can kind of get this this kind of reflection on what motherhood is, and which aspects of it, if any aspects of it, require the full biological mother to fulfill for somebody. Is Katie really missing anything? Well, of course she's missing her parents, but like, can the objective duties of the mother be actually fulfilled by these two who are not Katie's real parents? Obviously, more so the aunt, because M3GAN is obviously the villain of the movie. But stuff like that. That's kind of the major stuff we can kind of go after here. Another thing I would like to see is, like, you have Katie and the evil M3GAN and then the mom. This kind of triad is very similar to Orphan, which came out in 2009, if anybody watched that. One of the most underrated horror movies of all time, Orphan. I'll have to give that a review. That is an intense movie. I have not seen the prequel yet. I'm going to see the prequel eventually, but Orphan 2009, intense, underrated horror thriller right there. Very, very good. And the kind of themes, like, Orphan began to tackle that stuff, but I think they got scared of really going after some of the themes that they could have tackled in more detail, because they were worried about, because like, adoption can be a touchy subject. And I know that they ended up changing a line in the trailer because, like, some communities were offended. And that's a bunch of PC stuff that I don't give a shit about. But, like, you could have easily gone into more depth there, which, I mean, that's a review for another day. But the triad here, very similar. So I would like to see a few Orphan nods, if they could. I've already seen one in the trailer, which was M3GAN playing the piano, which could be interpreted as a nice callback to Esther playing the piano in the Orphan movie. So I would like to see a little bit more, maybe just in an appearance, or just some small nods to Orphan, because like of the similar themes that are being, the similar dynamics and stuff like that. However, all in all, the major thing here is, I know I just read way too deep into this kind of shit. It is a fucking killer doll movie. Okay? Based on the trailer, I think they're going to be able to find that balance between having fun with the concept and saying something. It is James Wan. So I do trust James Wan. James Wan is yet to miss for me. I did like Malignant, even though it's more of a horror comedy. So I expect this to be campy. However, I think there is enough grounds here to kind of say something. To kind of say something, to kind of use the themes and say, but it is a killer doll movie, and that does limit the amount of seriousness that you can really do with it. However, what I would really like is that, like, the themes are there for people like me who wish, like, they don't have to spend 50 minutes, like, having a discussion on this, but, like, just lay out the groundwork for the themes, and people like me will read into it and read into the shots and stuff like that, and what they're saying with specific images, shots, scene choices, etc., what this piece of dialogue means. People like me will do that. Casuals won't. So an important thing for this movie is to make sure you're still having fun with the idea, but still planting the seeds for people like me, because, like, the choices that they're making here are good enough to, like, give us something deeper. So I hope they don't just, like, make it so campy that it's ridiculous to the point where, like it's so campy and fun that, like, you don't neglect the potential deeper themes that you could explore here. Because I think I've been an advocate for this movie not because of the camping factor. If it was just, if I thought this was just another campy killer doll movie, I wouldn't be as excited for it as I am. And if it's just a campy killer doll movie, I'm gonna come in and crap on it. Well, not crap on it, like, but, like, one of the things I will slam the movie for if it ends up not doing this is not planting those deeper themes. And it is, that might be a fair critique for some people. It might not be. This is a PG-13 movie, so, like, don't expect a bunch of gore and blood and stuff like that. But, like, that's another reason I think the character work needs to be better. Because it's a PG-13 movie, PG-13 horror doesn't really work unless the character work is good. See The Ring, or Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, whatever the fuck it's called. Whatever you say about, those are some of the better examples of PG. I think Lights Out was PG-13 horror too, and the character work was good in that. Lights Out is PG-13, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you're gonna do good PG-13 horror, one of the difference between good PG-13 versus bad PG-13 is character work, because you can't just rely on gore and shock factor to carry your horror movie. Okay? You need that character work, or else the movie's going to fall flat on its face. So because it's PG-13, I'm hoping that Juan understands that you need a bit more substance in your character work to carry the movie. So my hype is still off the charts. The Rotten Tomatoes scores are good, so I'm hoping that James Wan knocks it out of the park here. I'm very excited, and I will be making a first impression / review basically as soon as I'm done with the movie tomorrow night. I'm excited. My hype is off the charts, and I'm ready to go. See M3GAN, boys. I recommend you go too. Boop, boop.